Good evening, bonsoir. Bienvenue à la réunion sociale le 29 janvier. Welcome to the special public meeting on January 29th. Ms. Parker will go to the adoption of the minutes, or adoption of the agenda, should I say? Sorry.
That the agenda be approved as presented.
All right, may I have a mover? Councillor Branch, second by Councillor LeBlanc. Ready for the question? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Ms. Parker, do we have any declaration of conflict of interest?
There were no conflicts of interest declared.
Perfect. We'll go to draft resolutions. So 3.1, council resolution to amend the zoning bylaw. So it's zoning 495 Riverside Drive. Sorry, Ms. Parker. Just before Ms. Parker reads it, she will read it. I will request to have someone to move in second. Then we'll go to Mr. Bouffal, and then we'll go to questions. Okay? All right.
Whereas the City of Bathurst proposes to amend Bylaw 2008-01 entitled the City of Bathurst Zoning Bylaw to allow the use of the following lands as follows. Change the zoning of the property located at 495 Riverside Drive and bearing PID number 20008553. For the purpose of the zoning bylaw, the zoning remains institutional, but in addition to the uses permitted in the institutional IN zone, it will be permitted to develop a student residence in the existing main building subject to terms and conditions prescribed by council. Be it resolved that 1. A bylaw amending the zoning bylaw be drafted for this purpose. 2. That the city clerk, acting on behalf of the council, see that the public notice prescribed in Section 111 of the Community Planning Act is posted on the municipality's website to announce the council's intention, the day and the place for the consideration of objections to the proposed bylaws, and 3. Consideration of the objections to the proposed bylaw to take place at 6:30 p.m. on February 20th, 2024 in council chambers.
All right. So may I have a mover? Councillor Scarry, seconded by Councillor Bullitt. Mr. Bouffal, would you be able to share some information?
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. So if you recall, the original rezoning application was for the development of two main buildings on the same lot for various or for different main uses. For that reason, the planner in charge of the file at that time determined that the zoning had to be changed from institutional, as it is right now, to integrated development, in order to allow more than one main use on the same property. To do so, Council had to amend two bylaws affecting land use planning in the municipality, the municipal plan and the zoning bylaw. These are two separate bylaws, two different documents, but two different bylaws. So on November 20th, City Council passed a resolution to begin the amendment process. Only the municipal plan was concerned at this stage of the process, not the zoning bylaw. So the process, this process involved the publication of public notice to notify the population and invite them to submit comments in favor or against the project. The council also requested the view of the Planning Advisory Committee in this resolution that was passed in November. So the city received several letters of opposition to the project, and citizens were given the opportunity to present their case before the Planning Advisory Committee. At the PAC meeting last Tuesday, the applicants said they will be prepared to withdraw their application to convert the accessory building into a main building. Only one building is now concerned by this rezoning request, namely the main building formerly used for the office of the Department of Natural Resources. Since the application now concerned the change of use of only one main building rather than two, it is no longer necessary to change the zoning to integrated development zone as planned at the beginning. Nor it is necessary to amend the municipal plan. Only the zoning bylaw needs to be amended for this project. As mentioned in tonight's resolution, the revised rezoning request is to change the zoning of the property located at 495 Riverside Drive. For the purpose of the rezoning bylaw, the zoning remains institutional, but in addition to the other use already permitted in the institutional zone, it will be permitted to develop a student residence in the existing building, subject to the terms and conditions enacted by the municipal council. The draft bylaw amending the zoning bylaw contains the same terms and conditions that were presented to the Planning Advisory Committee last week. So perhaps the wording has changed, but it is the same project that was presented to the PAC, minus the fact that the second building is no longer in the application. So, although the wording or name of the proposed zone is no longer integrated development, it is the same student residence project that was presented to the Planning Advisory Committee last week, but without the second building, intended for another use. The Planning Advisory Committee's recommendation to Council remain the same and will be incorporated into the conditions attached to the rezoning bylaw. So, a new public notice will be published on the city website inviting the public to consult the draft bylaw with the conditions, to submit their objections in writing, and to inform them of a public hearing to be held on February 20th, during which they may voice their objection before council. And only those persons who have submitted written objection in writing will be able to address council. So I think it's important to mention that.
So for this evening, questions will be from council and not from the public. You have an opportunity on February 20th, as has mentioned. Donc, je vais le dire en français, parce qu'en cas qu'on a des gens sur les médias sociaux, la page Facebook. S'il y a des gens qui ont des objections, ça sera le 20 février qui ont la chance. Mais, pour être en mesure de venir parler au micro, il va falloir envoyer une lettre avec votre objection. So, any letters that has been sent now, or any petitions that have been sent prior to, is null and void. So any letters that you have sent, you just have to resend it, but your petition is not good. And I just want to remind everybody, you can't have people from Beresford signing a petition. This is the city of Bathurst, not from another city. On another note, if you send your letter after tomorrow's date, if I'm not mistaken, Ms. Parker, it'll be posted tomorrow. Then you can resend your letter, and then it will be considered and accepted. And from there, on February 20th, the letters that we received are people that will be able to come forward and speak. Donc, les lettres que nous recevons des citoyens, cette journée-là, le 20 février, on est en mesure d'attendre les objections. Okay? Does council have questions? All right. Councillor Knowles.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As it stands right now, what can be developed not only at 495 Riverside, but in that area of our city? Disregarding the current application, just what could be done today in that area?
On this property?
Yeah, or in that area, what could be done?
But again, okay, I was not prepared to make a presentation tonight, but on the 20th, I'm going to make the same presentation I made. Mm-hmm. So tonight was just to initiate the second round. But if I may answer, I don't have
I don't want to put you on the spot there. I'm just
right now the zoning is institutional, so a wide range of uses are permitted: hospital, education, office, government office, municipal building, including nursing home, senior citizen home, group home, and group home involve a lot of different type of residents. So right now, the use of that specific property being zoned institutional is quite comprehensive, but the area in question, you have a lot of different zones. On Riverside, you have it's mainly zone R2, residential 1 and 2 family. At the corner of Queen and Riverside, you have commercial lot. Of course, you have a lot of institutions. You have the two schools. You have the schools and you have the college. And Villa Chaleur zone institutional. You have the mobile home park. So, and also the on the portion of Riverside between up to St. Peter Avenue, it is zone R3. So you ask me, what is the zoning of this area? So the area is a mix of various land use. But the subject property is zone institutional.
Okay, thanks for the answer.
All right. And for this evening, we're just accepting it. and then we will move forward with, and then we'll go to the first reading and second reading, and if there's any objections. So we're just accepting it for this evening. Councillor Burnett.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. To Mr. Buffard.
Yep.
You made quite a presentation, I gather, at the PAC the other night, an hour and a half, I guess, and presented the project down to the nitty-gritty of rooms and washrooms and et cetera, et cetera. How come we're not getting that?
That will be when he presents. Not today. Today, we're just accepting this, and then he will do his presentation at the next meeting.
Aren't we putting the cart before the horse, or rather than get the presentation so that we know what's going on, what's coming up, and yet all PAC members have that presentation, yet we don't? I find that sort of not right at all.
Mr. Buffard?
There's a normal process. For example, if you change only the rezoning as we do now, it starts with an application with a resolution of council to initiate the process. And after that, you will ask the PAC for its opinion. It's already done because we did start the process under Section 25. But in many cases, if you just change the zoning bylaw, this is where it starts. And the process is that the bylaw will be available for consultation with the condition attached to it. This is at the public hearing. This is where normally you make the presentation before council and you hear people. But tonight was just to initiate the rezoning process.
I find that not right still. And the way it was introduced at the beginning, we still didn't have a clear idea of what was going there. And there was all sorts of rumors started and all sorts of things put on the table that maybe were or maybe weren't right. And look how it got all the neighborhood all riled up, and you got signs and windows, and you got people with petitions, and those are my neighbors and friends, and I hated seeing them upset like that by the procedure starting the way it did. So I'm not real happy with the procedure the way it's going.
All right. Conseiller Leblanc.
Oui, merci, Madame la mairesse. Non, ma question, c'est justement, en premier lieu, c'est à propos de la procédure. Depuis que je m'assis sur le Conseil, ça a toujours été comme ça. Est-ce qu'il y a quoi de différent cette fois-ci qu'on fait différent? Parce que d'habitude, on approuve que le processus commence, et puis après ça, on détermine par après avec les recommandations de PAC et ainsi de suite, et avec la présentation du projet, si on approuve le rezonage ou pas. Est-ce qu'il y a eu quoi de différent dans celui-ci à votre connaissance, M. Bouffard? Ou?
Je ne peux pas parler sur les procédures des anciens rezonages. C'est mon premier rezonage vraiment avec la municipalité. Mais actuellement, c'est la procédure qui est suivie. Le processus débute par une résolution qu'on dit en vertu de l'article 111 qui informe de la date de l'audience publique et de publier les avis sur le site web de la municipalité. C'est la procédure que...
Non, ça semble être ce qu'on a fait jusqu'à date depuis que je suis ici aussi, mais je veux juste m'assurer que c'est bel et bien sûr qu'on n'a pas changé la procédure.
The process has not changed. I think what might have happened is because we started with a rezone and then it was brought back and then they decided to stay with institutional. So that's why we're way where we are now. But it still comes down to restarting and accepting this application so they can move forward with the rest.
Donc, à la prochaine, vous allez nous revenir avec les recommandations. C'est quoi exactement le prochain? Les amendements, justement, au zonage. J'ai bien raison?
C'est ça. Le 20, en principe, ça va débuter par une présentation, la même présentation que j'ai faite au comité d'urbanisme. 2, vous allez prendre connaissance des avis du comité d'urbanisme. 3, ensuite, on va entendre les objections des personnes qui auront formulé des objections par écrit. Et si le Conseil le veut, ce soir-là, vous pouvez procéder avec la première, deuxième lecture de l'arrêté par les titres. C'est la procédure normale.
Okay. On a encore 3 lectures, donc, jusqu'à la troisième lecture. Parfait.
Si je me fie au calendrier qui avait été soumis, le 20, c'est la première, deuxième lecture en même temps que l'audience publique. Puis le 26, je crois qu'il est censé avoir une autre réunion spéciale pour la troisième lecture et l'adoption de l'arrêté.
Parfait. Puis comme je peux voir juste une dernière question, on parle encore ici d'une résidence étudiante. Là, je sais que je mets encore C'est-à-dire, je mets la charrue avant les bœufs, là, mais c'est ça, puis c'est ça, uniquement ça qu'on va regarder.
Le projet il a été soumis, il a été analysé sur l'angle que c'est une procédure, que c'est une résidence pour étudiants. L'arrêté qui est proposé contient une définition de ce qui est une résidence étudiante. Et puis, on propose dans les conditions des mécanismes que le Conseil pourra utiliser pour s'assurer que c'est et ça restera une résidence étudiante.
Merci.
Right. Okay. So, we have a mover and a seconder, so I'll go to the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Oppose? Nay. Okay. Motion carried. We will go to the adjournment of the meeting. Ms. Parker.
That the special public meeting be adjourned at 6:45 p.m.
All right, may I have a mover? Councillor Hondas, seconded by Councillor Burnett. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Oppose? Motion carried. Bonne soirée à tous. Thank you for being here.